Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to share with you 5 of the most effective things that you can do to lose weight and feel amazing. In the past, I've ran some challenges that help people lose weight and more importantly, feel amazing. So today I'm sharing with you those top 5 most effective things that you can do. First thing is food quality. In the challenges, I do provide an approved food list. And essentially what is on the list is whole foods and minimally processed foods. You might hear a lot about this, again, in our society these days, because a lot of our foods are processed. What that means is they've been modified so they have a longer shelf life. They have ingredients that probably aren't going to sit well in our bodies as well. They have things such as high fructose corn syrup, monosaturated canola and sunflower oil, and the list goes on. Those processed foods are typically found in the center of the grocery store because they have a longer shelf life. Doing your best to stick to 5 ingredients or less, thinking along the lines of, does it come from the ground? Does it have a mother? Can you pronounce all the ingredients and know what they are? So if you're unsure, flip it over, take a look at the ingredient list. And if you can't pronounce those words, or if you don't know what those words are, that probably means let's put it back on the shelf. By cleaning up your diet to have more whole foods and minimally processed foods, you're going to decrease inflammation in your body, and you're going to avoid a lot of unwanted or unnecessary calories that come from those highly processed foods. And not only are those foods highly processed, they are super calorically dense, but they don't actually satiate you and satisfy you. So you'll find that you're hungry an hour or two later on. They also signal cravings from your brain, which make you crave more of those highly processed sugary foods. And then it becomes a vicious cycle. Most of the clients I have, when we switch them from this way of eating to more whole foods, less highly processed foods, for about 1 to 2 weeks, most people kick those cravings. And once they get through those first couple of weeks, they kind of just start to dissipate and go away, where they found that they're not wanting to reach for like that ice cream in the evening or wanting to reach for that chocolate. And it's okay to have that stuff in moderation, but what we want to do is avoid feeling like those cravings control us. The second thing is quantity of food that you eat and how much you're eating throughout the day. Whether this is counting macros, using your hand method, maybe using like the plate method, whatever way that is, you do need to know how much you should be or how much you are eating in order to be successful. How we build our meals is making sure that we have our protein, our veggies, fats, carbs per meal. Including more protein in your diet is just a win-win overall, and it's going to make you feel better all around. So when you look at food quantity, it's important to try to build your plate or build your meal around protein to make sure that you're getting adequate sources of protein at each meal and snack. So with protein, not only does protein give us that lean toned muscle look and help us with our recovery, but it also helps satiate our body and also requires more energy to digest protein. So it's going to keep us more satiated, and we're going to burn more calories when we have to digest that protein that we're eating, on top of not only it helping us build more lean mass, because what we want is more lean mass. Muscle burns more calories than fat, so our resting metabolic rate would increase. When we're looking at protein, how much we should be eating, your goal should be eating anywhere from 0.7 gram to 1.2 grams per body weight. So if I weighed 145 pounds, I'm aiming to eat about 145 grams of protein per day. That's going to help me recover. That's also going to help my body have enough protein to be able to go into a muscle protein synthesis so that I can repair and build lean tissue from there. Once you put your protein onto your plate, then we want to look at filling our plate with fibrous foods or healthy carbohydrates. When I say healthy, I mean like sweet potatoes, oats, bananas, fruit. Fruit is classified as a carbohydrate. And if you want to get a little bit more detail oriented, trying to put your starchier carbohydrates before and after your workout. After you figured out your carbohydrates, you want to move on to your healthy fats. Healthy fats such as avocado, nut seed butters, coconut flakes, olives, and then extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, and avocado oil. And when it comes to fats, a lot of the time people underestimate how much they're actually eating. When we aren't eating as much lean meats, we are getting more fats from those animal products. So when we're adding in a lot of fats to our meal, we might be eating a little bit too much. If you're using your hand method, for females, having a thumb worth in each meal. For men, it would be 2 thumb worths. If you're doing macros, that's something that you can kind of work out within your percentages of intake. So no matter what, with your quantity, you want to make sure that you're building your plate around your protein, because that should be the start of your meal. Everything else is just going to complement your protein. All right, moving on to the third thing, that is going to be movement. And that's movement outside of the other 23 hours out of the gym. So often people say, hey, well, I went to the gym for 60 minutes. That was my movement. I was like, okay, well, what do we do the other 23 hours of the day? Were we sitting at our desk? Were we sitting on the couch? What were we doing? A lot of the time, they didn't realize they didn't move their bodies too much outside of the gym. So maybe like 1,500 steps. So what you have to realize is you can burn a lot of calories throughout the day from something that is called non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And that's going to be things such as like cleaning the house, walking, dancing, just moving our body overall. It burns more calories. And if we're used to sitting all day, we need to schedule in time every hour or so to get up, get some steps in, park a little bit further, go for a walk at lunch or after work. It's really great to try and track your steps, to hold yourself accountable, and also to be very obvious about how much you've moved in your day to day. So a good goal is always to try to work towards 10,000 steps. That's just accumulated every day. That's things like going for a walk, walking around your house, walking around at work. It's all accumulated to that. Start by paying attention, maybe setting some breaks throughout the day that you have to stand up and get some steps in and just move your body around. It's going to be really beneficial and help you burn a few of that excess calories. Okay. The fourth thing is going to be drinking water. I suggest everyone tries to drink a minimum of half their body weight in ounces. For some people, it might be a lot, but that is something that you can get comfortable with and kind of work your way into it. It will get easier. Some of the time, we may end up reaching for snacks when we're actually thirsty. So start by trying to drink half your body weight in ounces and see how that makes you feel. And you'll be amazed at how water can actually help fill you up, where you don't feel like you're mindlessly eating. A minimum I'd love to see you drinking is roughly about 80 ounces. That's close to 2.5 liters of water a day. If you add in maybe a little bit of electrolytes, some sodium, just to make sure we're balancing out those electrolytes, especially during the hot weather, and if you're sweating a lot, it's just going to make you feel better and help your thoughts feel more clear. It's going to make you feel more focused throughout the day, and it's even going to help your workouts go better. The fifth and final one is my favorite. It is sleep. So a lot of the time when people start sleeping more, fat just melts off. And that's because it helps with our cortisol levels and it helps balance our hormones. Sleep is often overlooked and it is one of the most important factors when it comes to weight loss and performance in the gym. You have to try to sleep 7+ hours a night, and that's good quality sleep. We're looking for non-interrupted, not having any of those wake ups. And that doesn't mean getting into bed and watching Netflix 7 hours before you have to get up. I mean, lights out, sleep mask on, noise canceling, headphones, earplugs, whatever, dark, cool room, and allocating the time for your body to wind down so you get a good night's sleep. So if you want to be up, if you're getting into bed 8 hours before you want to get up, maybe pushing that 15 minutes earlier. So getting into bed 15 minutes earlier so you can count for winding down and being able to fall asleep and having enough time to have that great night's sleep. So sleep is not only going to help us feel better, but it's also going to help us with our mental clarity. It's going to help us feel more motivated to go to the gym because we feel good, we're not tired. It's going to help us when we need to focus on our work throughout the day, and it's going to help with those cravings. A lot of studies show that if we are sleep deprived, you tend to reach for those sugary, higher calorically dense, higher fat foods because it gives you that instant dopamine hit, or it makes us feel good when you have a full burst of those carbs and all of a sudden you're like, wow, I feel really good. But then an hour later, it just wears off. If we can't get enough sleep, we might not be able to keep our cravings at bay. So it's very important to try to make this a priority to get 7+ hours of high quality sleep. We can feel really great throughout the day. And these 5 things are super important to helping you feel and look your best and also get the most out of your workouts. So speaking of workouts, we want to make sure that we're getting our workouts in weekly. So 3 to 4 times a week, incorporating some sort of strength training or some sort of resistance training to help build lean muscle and build lean tissue, because this is going to help your body burn more calories. Like we said, muscle burns more calories than fat. So, building the muscle is going to be crucial for our metabolism. The last tip I want to leave you with is never trying to have 2 negatives or 2 bads back to back. And I hate to use that word, but just 2 times in a row where maybe you go out and you let loose, you eat whatever you want, and that's great to have that balance. But that means like the next meal you get back on your regular foods. Because if we go out and we eat whatever we want, we have a couple drinks and then we wake up the next morning and we do it all over again. We've done it twice in a row, which opens the door to do it again a third time. And then from there, it can snowball and that becomes harder to get back on track. If we only do it once in moderation, have some balance, get right back on track on the next meal, that puts us back in a good mindset to get back into our healthy lifestyle. Same with our workout. If we skip one day, it's like, okay, I was tired, I needed a rest day, I missed one workout, that's fine, something came up. If we miss a second one, all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, I already missed 2, then maybe we miss a third, and then it begins to snowball again. So just trying to keep yourself in check, really trying to keep yourself in a routine, get that rhythm going where you try to have that moderation and you try to have that balance, but you leave it there and you leave it to 1, and we never try to do that back to back, because if we do it back to back, it's going to be easier to continue to go down that route. And then you're going to find it even harder to kind of get back to where you were before. Hopefully you found those 5 things today useful and you can start using those going forward. If you want to start diving a little bit deeper into how to optimize your nutrition, stay tuned to this channel. Reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you more. Stay tuned. Hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.